Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Bunker Podcast. I am your host, John, and I am joined today by a very special guest. We've got Sheffield MC, entrepreneur, businessman, Young Artz in the building.
Bro. Come on.
My guy, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me here, first of all.
We are excited to have you on the
excited as
show.
well, bro. I'm excited, man. It's been overdue, man.
Yeah, we've been planning this a little minute.
For a minute, innit?
Yeah, been in the DMs. But
we're here.
I guess it's kind of a cheesy, kind of desert island disc style start, but it's a good route into this conversation as any.
Yeah.
Where does your story begin? Where did you grow up, and what initially got you into music in the first place? Yeah, man.
Bro, I was originally born in Zimbabwe, so I'm from Africa, Zimbabwe.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
I lived there till I was about 6. I came here when I was like 6, and then I was living with my grandma back then, so I moved, and then been with my family ever since. Grew up around church. I was being at church and stuff. The way I got into music was initially through church and people I met at church.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
like kind of like big crit
time
with the gospel influences.
So it was that, as well as like I'm in a new country. There's new music I've never heard before. There's new words I'm hearing. Everything's just brand new. I've never seen females dancing like that in video. I'm thinking, what's going on? So initially, like, seeing all those things, like,
for sure.
Seeing all those things and just, because at church, I played the drums at church. I tried getting into keyboard, but I wasn't that good. So I initially used to play a lot of drums, and then that's where I got the music side from. And then at church, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there's a team called Motion 21. I don't know if you remember that.
Rings a bell. I'm not going to claim to be like a massive fan or anything.
Yeah,
definitely
but it was just like a channel of like the guy that ran it was at the same church. And then some of the artists that was on there, like the Corcos and stuff like that.
Cool.
That's how not Corco didn't come there, but just like people that he used to associate with was there, and that's how I kind of got into music, because that's literally like a direct music link to all that, as well as like I used to play video games. One of my favourite ones was like 50 Cent Bulletproof.
Oh, classic video game on the PS2.
Classic.
Like, one of those games where like the soundtrack is as integral to that game
literally, that's
as the game itself. Yeah.
So and with that, like literally all the music was just in the back constantly. So it's like you just fell in love with it, type of thing. And that's how I kind of got into the music, and that's just what like I used to love the beats. The style was like passion. Literally that was the root of the passion. So yeah, that's where the music influences come from. And then obviously like from back home, they used to play different music as well. So it's like I've got both essence, and then sometimes they're kind of just like mashing them up and stuff. And
I've got two questions for you. Like that's interesting that you say that. That kind of takes me in a couple of different directions. The first is, do you think having that dual experience of like growing up somewhere different in a different country and then like coming here to the UK with garage, grime, all of these things, do you think having that dual cultural influence, I guess, I'm sure that impacts your style today a lot. And also the second avenue I was going to go was you said you played the drums and you tried
Yeah.
You think learning an instrument and like I guess a little bit of music theory and that kind of thing, has that helped you along the way as well? And how's that influenced you?
Like I'd say 100%. First of all, the drum situation, like the drums, that influenced a lot, and obviously just learning how to be a musician. Like you have to know how to be on time and stuff, practicing and stuff like that. I think that really added to my sound that I have now and just the way I am. And then also like having the dual connection between my original culture and being here as well. It's like both of them two together combined. It's like something sick. Like sometimes people don't understand it, but you kind of have to go through it to understand it. But then when you also play the music, I think it does show like
sometimes you kind of got to take the best of both worlds to make something new and
something
even more
better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally, so having best of both of us, I'd say really does help as well.
For sure. And so in 2022 you're set up with your own business, your own record label, you're managing other artists underneath you as well as like your own music, and it's a whole enterprise, and it's taken you I can see that you've put in a lot of work to get it to that point, right? Was there a time when things weren't as comfortable for you though? What was it like, growing up? Take me back to your like childhood a little bit. Were you and like early years, formative years, were you like
outside of music?
Yeah, were you like hustling? What were you doing in like the early years?
Because obviously I live back home, so back home it was literally just like, I was a good boy, there's nothing much to it. Literally just chill. So like my grandma, she lived on a farm. So like I've got like experience of living on a farm, which is completely different to like the city boys from back home anyway. So like I was very chill back then, but then it's like when I come here and I got the influence of different cultures, because when you come here it's not like there's just people like me around. You've got like with the school I went to, there was the white community where I could learn a lot of. There's like Asian community as well where you can learn things from. And then it's like when you're around by all them different people and you kind of lose yourself, you end up just like following the crowd type of thing. So I kind of fell into that when I was younger. I was just on badness when I came. Like as I got older, and like especially with the music and doing music, I don't know. You just like sometimes you build up like this little cocky vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I used to get in.
But it's more
trouble,
like was it? Oh well, I was going to ask. Was it more like playful, or did it lead to anything?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like it ended up not madness, but it was just like more of the naughty side. I used to be on like some naughty stuff. I don't really want to speak about, but like
I feel it. I won't actually go too much into it. But did you earn like the first like bit of real money that you earned? Was that like in the streets or was that off of music?
You know what, bro? What actually happened with that? Cause I did have my fair time when I was in the streets and doing that. But there was a day where there's a day when I really like all of it could have gone. And
as there usually is, that risk and reward with that type.
That's the thing. So like I used to make a lot of money from, not a lot of money, but like just to get by sort of thing. Like throughout the day you'd make a lot of money, but your share out of that wasn't all that. So it was just like, it was okay. So after doing that, I just stuck to doing music full time. So
it was a more hopeful, more promising bag in the music than any of that.
Not really. It's just like, what happened was like, bro, this one day, bro, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, bro, like, I was doing my thing and I could have lost it because I dashed everything, and then by the time they caught me, I didn't have anything. But the very next day, because it's like the way we used to do it, it used to be me one day, somebody else the next day, and then the second day, you got caught.
So you just fell on the right day and he fell on the wrong.
But that whole situation, just the way it happened and the way everything else around it, because it was very sticky at the time, because I already had something else going on with the police and stuff. So I kind of just, from there, I was just like, it's not really worth it. Do you know what I mean?
I think you made the right choice.
I had to.
I think you made the right choice.
And with also like where I come from, it was just better for me to like not do that, because it's not nice to see mumsy and stuff and family in the way they were.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean, innit? So just being on badness was in the one.
Yeah, man. No, you definitely took the right path. Again, I got a couple of questions off the back of that. First of all, how did you find that transition from, like, again, back home? It sounds like you've lived like 3 different people's lives. You lived in like a farm in Zimbabwe. You came here, like, got involved in some madness. Then you started doing music. You got a business now. Yeah. You've lived like 3-4 different lives. But do you think those formative experiences made you appreciate, the point you're at now with your music and the success?
Because like there was a time where we're literally like, if you listen to some of my music, I talk about not having a lot. And just literally kind of starting from the bottom and finding your way up as you go by and just learning life pretty much. So it's like all that kind of contributed to all that. So like now with the business and stuff, it's good that I have it because it does remind me of the times when I never used to have that. Like it was a hustle.
You've kind of got to stay grounded and
because like
draw from that original influence.
I feel like you have to go through the bad bit to learn from it and then know what to do when you're...
To appreciate the good
You know what I'm saying? And like, not even appreciate, but just keep moving forward and upwards sort of thing. So like, you have to go through the badness, as in bad stuff, for you to get to the good stuff.
And how did you handle that transition in from, maybe not the best... Probably a good place, but not the best place into where you're at now, where you're comfy, you've got a family now.
Yeah, that transition was actually quite good because basically what happened when I stopped... more like being on the streets and stuff, it's literally the same time we moved house into a completely new area where I didn't know anyone. So it's like
probably good for you.
Yeah, it was good for me because it's like I'm in a new place and I don't really know anybody, so it's just time to really just focus on what I want to do. And that at that moment in time is where I really just kind of learned everything. Like I just managed to do everything that I was trying to do and just teach myself all those things. I kind of just had to go through
go through the motions of it a little bit. Yeah.
But having that time really helped.
Yeah, man. For sure. Let's talk a little bit more about the music. I can see. Again, it's interesting that you touch on growing up someplace else and coming over here, having that, like, you know, that idea of the multiple different influences. Because I can hear the British influence in you. I can hear, like, a little bit of D-Block Europe in there, for example. Yeah. But stylistically, I feel like you draw from a lot of, like, US style trap drill stylistics in your music, and also, like, a lot of like Afro beats, African music. I can hear that for sure. What is it about that style that appeals to you? You know, the one that you come with. What appeals to you? Do you know what it is?
First of all? It just comes to me. It's not like I have to work hard to do it. Like before, the reason why it was kind of hard was because I was trying to be somebody else. I'm not. Like, like it's like when you make music, you literally just have to do you and what you feel like you have to do. At the same time, also just like make it appreciable for other people. Do you know what I mean? Because music only plays one part, like 1%. The rest is like the audience. Like your music is not gonna bang without the audience. But it's like with the style, I think it just comes naturally to me. That's why it's like that. So it's like I tend like because I make a lot of my own beats, so I literally get to create from the very start, like the whole vibe I'm trying to go for. And the majority of it just naturally
hands on at every level.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, and I love every aspect of music. So it's like when I'm doing it, it's like I think of every. Is that because
you're a control freak though?
I am. Do you know? I actually am.
But like, that can be like to an extent that can be like your greatest asset. It's just knowing when to rein that in. Like
I agree with you because like me, I'm one of them guys. Like I want everything to be perfect, but with that comes knowing when to leave something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, of course, something's gonna be perfect, but I feel like you still need to see the transition of like where you may have started, like, and to where you're getting. That's possibly one reason why I never really like me. I've got so much music on my computer.
Yeah, when you look online, you have a lot unreleased. You got a lot of stuff out, but then I bet it's like an iceberg. But it's like
it's literally underneath. Yeah, compared to what I've got in my catalogue, what's out is a very small amount. And it's like the only reason why I go back to think why it's like that is because I am a bit of a control freak and I want everything to be like
perfect. It's got to be right.
Do you know what I mean? But now
critical ear will be because if you don't like it, then the audiences are gonna like
but it's just come to a point now. It's like it's good. There's no point just overthinking it. Like I used to overthink it, and I feel like a lot of artists still do nowadays. Like they just overthink it, where it should just be the very simplest thing.
Because that's when you get the most organic results.
Exactly,
for sure.
Exactly. So it's like when you overthink it, sometimes it does ruin it. So,
it's good that you've learned that discipline though. What about so you've experimented with like different musical directions. You've done the grime thing. You transitioned more into the trap, drill, Afro beats kind of style that we were talking about a moment ago. Does it is trying new things and experimenting with different styles, is that something that excites you? And also, do you feel it makes you stand out from, I don't know, your peers, I guess, and other rappers, artists, musicians?
Because it's like being versatile is a good thing, and listening to a broad wide of music really does help. Because especially like I remember first time I actually paid attention to country music. Because I did.
I can relate to this.
Do you know what I mean? Like even just the way they sing riffs and do things like that. Like even if you was to literally like, you see how house beats, those vocals are literally they could be a country song but just chopped up and done like you can take elements of every sound and just kind of put it together and just create some sick shit. Do you know what I mean? Literally.
And for those people who like there'll be a demographic of people that'll be like, this is the perfect thing for me. I've been waiting forever.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like you need to appreciate all the other artists and all the music that's around you for you to really be in that bag and be able to be versatile and then use that to your advantage and to approach beats and tell stories in different ways. Because if you listen to a lot of rap, you're only gonna understand them telling a story in a certain way. Other people might tell it in a completely different way.
Absolutely.
And, do you know what I mean? Especially like songwriting. I remember when I first really got into songwriting, I was like my head was blown. Like some of the songs I used to grow up listening to, it's like, yo, when you're really deep songwriting and the greatest songwriters, they're telling you something they probably shouldn't be telling you in the most like nicest way, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Making it like, it's like really dark, but it sounds amazing.
And it's just like, oh, I could play this to my mum and she'll know. She'll
have no idea what he's talking about.
So it's one of them ones, isn't it?
I find like the most interesting rappers usually, like don't get me wrong, like I can appreciate rappers who are just pure bars who are all about the lyrics, but I often find the most interesting stuff in hip hop is like rappers who studied other music as well.
That's
Kendrick Lamar, XXXTentacion, Mac Miller, for example.
That's the thing. That's why I say like them guys are very versatile and they can literally jump on anything and tell stories in very different ways where a lot of people can't. Like sometimes it's hard for people to break out of their comfort zone, whereas I think it's actually quite easy. Because you've got all this other music you can listen to and take so much influence from.
Yeah, sometimes being comfortable isn't a good thing, is it?
Yeah,
sometimes
like,
you got to go out.
Like sometimes, like even like, I remember when I used to get writer's block. I'd literally go on YouTube and type in like country pop music.
Kind of inspiration.
Kind of write to that beat and then go back to the other beat with the same lyrics.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta. It's a different approach. I bet there's not a lot of rappers out there looking to country music for inspiration, but like that is actually.
It's one of them ones, but
makes
it's like
very different.
You can write to like all beats are the same. It's just a click in it. So when you write, you can also bring it on a different beat. It might just be a bit slower or faster, but you can make it work.
Yeah, man,
that's the thing.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about your creative process. You mentioned a moment ago, you make a lot of your own beats. I think it's very impressive that you're hands-on with the instrumentals and stuff as well. But once you've got those down, what do you do from there? Do you predominantly write or freestyle, or do you do both?
Do you know what? I used to write a lot more back in the day. Now it's like, when I go to the studio, so it's literally like, it's literally just like practice hours sometimes. It literally just feels like practice hours. Like,
the studio,
at the studio, yeah, literally like, I'll get there, I'll just like play something on the keyboard, find something that I like, then just start building up. Like even the way I make the beats and write the song, it's like most people when they record the beat, record a song, they'll have the full beat there. Whereas I might just have the guitar loop or like just a simple hi-hat, and I've already kind of got a concept.
All you need is that basic idea, so you'll get the lyrics and build the
when
rest
I make
of
music with a lot of people, what I normally tend to say is like, what's the name of the song? Just straight up, like, or just tell me anything, like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
And then we kind of just work off that. And then I think that really opens the creative process because it's like, you just think about that thing and find ways of telling what you're saying. And even on just the beat. Even just the beat, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
That's a different approach, man.
Literally, man. So the creative process is just fairly quite simple, man. Like, I don't put too much into it now and I don't really write as much.
Sometimes there's like an elegance in that kind of stripped
like
to it.
I feel like with writing as well, I feel like sometimes you do lose the moment overthinking it. Like you might overthink a line, whereas like when I'm in the studio, I literally say one line, I'm like, okay, what do I want to say next? What would I say in a conversation? Next line, ooh, that sounds like, then I just keep going because it's in the moment. And then what I'm saying is, and I'm saying
it's spontaneous, so it's getting more organic,
authentic. The first time I said it would be on the microphone, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I like that," and then you can just make it better. And do you know what I mean?
Build from there, refine. Do you prefer recording in the studio or performing live? Probably seems like everyone I've asked this question to have all said performing live, but like I don't know, you look like you're putting thought into that genuinely.
I actually am, because that's a good one, you know. Shit. I don't know. I do love the studio. Like I love the studio. I swear to God.
That speaks to your kind of workaholic.
Yeah.
I'm like, getting that vibe.
Literally, I love every aspect of music. Like when I start doing music, I love like the mixing sides, the writing side, just everything. So it's like I get that, but I also love the performing side as well. Like,
so you get to engage with fans. That's the fun bit.
Yeah. Like just putting on a show, like, it's so fun, man. Like, it's literally sick, especially because it's like, these people are bumping to your music, this is what you love doing. and you're just having a good time, man. So it's hard, you know, because I do love the moment, especially when you're in the moment performing.
Yeah,
it's sick, man.
But then in the studio, you get a lot of creative ideas.
Yeah,
it's just different.
Like just the studio environment, I love it. So normally I'll be there. So I feel like I'm leaning more to the studio.
Oh, you're the first one who's actually said that, but that's not. I get the vibe you're not underplaying like the importance of like interacting with fans.
Nah. I do love that as well. So I literally, yeah.
I clocked some footage of your show at the O2 Academy in front of like 3,500 people. That seemed high energy. It looked like a lot of fun. It looked like a sick show. Does it? How do you feel knowing that, like, I don't know, your city is behind you and has got your back, I suppose? Because if there's ever a sign of that, as it's selling out the O2 with 3,500 people.
It's nice, but I think now we're at a stage where I feel like we just need to be more united, like, for the city. I don't want to just for me, do you know what I mean? Like,
expand on that. Expand on that a
little
bit.
Like, a lot of, like, for example, radio, they only show people that have already blown up. But I'm telling you, there's probably the next Stormzy living in Sheffield right now, and it's just like we all just need to kind of work together as a city to kind of just push everybody that does some like these creative things out. There's probably like better writers and some of the best writers out there that are literally just underground. So I don't think all eyes should just be on like me, or I don't want it to just be on me. I would love to push everyone. Like for instance now, we've got a new spot that we've got. I don't know if have you heard of the Creators Hub in Sheffield? Yeah. So literally we've been doing like open mic nights down there.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
Like we literally did an open mic. We've got a new series coming as well. That's down there.
And this is your thing for like bringing up other artists on your label, right?
Not just my label. That's the thing. So I'm literally bringing the whole city. It's not just my label. And with the label,
so you're not like, for not all of these artists, you're not getting anything out of it necessarily. I mean, you might do sometimes, but no, you're not necessarily getting anything out of it yourself.
I don't want anything, bro. There's great artists all around Sheffield, and I just want people to hear them. It's not just me. Do you know what I mean? So like literally,
mad.
The new series that we've got coming, it's like it's a series where you come, we've got like stylists. So I bring in people that make clothes or got their own clothing brand. They come, they style the artists. You do your photo shoot, like get you some photos and that. Use that to promote yourself as well as we use it to promote the page. And then obviously we're calling it the gallery. The gallery, that's what it's called.
That's so sick, and it's something for like everyone in the whole city.
And then it's like it's just a room full of art. So it's literally just like one of these rooms, but the room's full of art. But then with that as well, we do a lot of painting class, not classes, but it's just like a day where you can come.
Promoting all the creativity as well.
My boy Paris is literally got me glued on back on the art. Like I can draw and paint. So literally we do that, bring people in, and then we use some of the artwork for the gallery, and then people just perform. So we've got the first series that we just finished filming. Hopefully that'll be coming out soon. And then,
that's so cool. I mean, it's very. I mean, the people that we've had on thus far, like all of them, like care deeply about like the Sheffield music scene and like other artists in the area. But like to go to that extent with it,
bro,
is incredibly admirable. Like you really give a fuck.
Like when you look at Sheffield music, back in the day, it was literally like up there. Like a lot of like, especially for bassline. Look how many people used to come down here. So like. And then you look at places like Birmingham or London, they're the only really well known. But then you also get your little other cities that are like Leeds and stuff. But not a lot of people are shedding that light on Sheff. Whereas I feel like we can bring the Birmingham to Sheff, we can bring the Manchester to here, and do all that.
And then it's a whole scene. Then it's a UK scene.
When I first got into music, like I was explaining to you, the people I used to meet at church, like there was the YouTube channels there where people from Sheff always there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Actually mad talented people going to church.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then now there's like there's not really a channel like that. Everybody's just on GRM, and then it's like, even with that, you're paying how much money to get on there, and then it's just all long. I feel like there's just a bit more of a united feel, where just everyone can go and do the thing and showcase your music, man. Like literally, that's what I'm about. So I'm not a selfish guy. So,
mate, I really appreciate that. I respect that any bit of clout that you get for yourself, you're willing to give the rub to someone else. Yeah, definitely.
Because like I was saying, like the music really only plays 1%. Your music's not gonna blow without the audience there, and if you haven't got an audience, it's like the music is only just to yourself, sort of thing. So like, that's one thing I learned. like you really need the audience for your music to get far. If that's your ambition.
Speaking of your audience, I'm going to deviate a little bit here, but with one of your recent singles, Jimmy Choo, garnered a lot of interest. It was I gave it a listen, very good, but it's different to a lot of your other stuff that does take that like high energy. You want to get your fans like turned up, that kind of stuff, the trap stuff. It's very different to that. It's a little bit more gentle. It seems like a more relaxed album. Was it a conscious decision to maybe appeal to a female demographic with that song?
Do you know what? Like, when I make music, sometimes I don't even think about it too much.
It was an organic thing. It came about organically.
Yeah, like I said, it's literally just like practice. I was like, even the way Jimmy Choo came, I didn't make that beat. No, I didn't make that beat. But my boy produced the beat. But like even the way I came up with that, I didn't know I was gonna make Jimmy Choo. It's like I was just humming something and it just came to me, and then the vibe just carried on like that. So it's like one of them ones. It wasn't conscious. It wasn't like I thought, let me do it like this, but it just happens.
Again, that
kind of just comes to me. You know what I mean?
Get the best results that way.
Yeah.
Was it again on that subject of like experimenting with different sounds, like trying different things? Doing a song like that, is that experimenting with something different, trying to touch base with a different demographic? Does that excite you?
Yeah, I feel like what it is as well is like when I first started up. You see how I was saying I used to try and rap like other people. I'd be like trying to be somebody else. Along with that, I think I ended up developing a thing where I've got like 5-6 different voices. So it's like that's why
that's not a bad thing. That's very good.
That's why it's like one song is very hype, the next one's very trappy, the next one's Afro hop. The next one's like R&B-ish, like.
And then I've heard a couple of yours as well where you like. It's kind of a little bit more melancholy. It's a little bit more somber, a bit more real sweat shit.
That's what I mean. So it's like I've got all these different voices, and I just try to use every one of them every time, or even like use all of them in a song. It's just like it's a thing that I learned because I remember when I was trying to learn how to sing, but it's like I can't do it. But I do like how I sound now, so I kind of carried on working on how I sounded with that voice, but as well as trying to learn how to sing high and get high notes and just do it without auto-tune. Like I remember because what I used to do, I was just record the auto-tune on full blast.
But back when you were a little bit more still learning what you were doing.
So kind of just to teach myself, I slowly started backing off it. Like I'd say in 2 days' time, I'm gonna be on this one. 3 days, I'll turn it down, and eventually kind of start building up different voices, just kind of training my voice and stuff. So I've got a few different. I'm not saying I'm the best singer here or da 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 da.
I mean, I don't know. Like you're the guy being interviewed. There's a good chance that you are.
Nah. But it's just like with that, it's just I've got a few different voices I can use, so that I use it to my advantage.
That very briefly, that you mentioned about the auto tune there. I imagine like. Again, it's easy when you're first doing it and you're learning what you're doing, and it's fun to just like whack it up to full blast, see what happens. But then as you get a little bit older, I don't know if you relate to this, but I've always thought of auto-tune is like a tool. It's like a spanner or a screwdriver. It's like any other tool. And with like any tool, there's a right way to use a tool and a wrong way to use a tool. Have you learned like when and where to use things like that in your music?
The thing is, with music, I don't think there necessarily is a rule. It's literally just like what you feel. You might be doing it for a reason. Do you know what I mean? So it's like with me, I just do whatever. I'm just down for whatever. So it's like if it sounds good,
it sounds good. If
it doesn't, then we're not to use it.
You just go off the ear. You don't go by necessarily
I've never actually like went for lessons to learn instruments. Or like the only thing I did music wise that I learned was I went to music for music production. But with that, they didn't teach you like how to play instruments and stuff. It's kind of just like training your ears, what to listen out for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't. I mean, they in schools and colleges and stuff. The music theory they teach is like Beethoven and stuff, which is like it's useful, but it's only, I think in the 21st century, it's more useful in the sense of if you know the rules, you know how to break it.
Yeah, literally.
Do you know what I mean? And also like there's lots of music there, like Asian music theory, you know, Middle Eastern music theory, African music theory. That just gets ignored. Yeah. There's like different scales that get like ignored in our theory books. You know.
I was so confused when I realized like there's so many scales because like normally, I know you guys you probably heard of it, just like minor and major chords.
That's
That's all
there's
the
half
is.
notes and things
That's
as well.
what I mean.
There's mad
like,
stuff.
Yeah, like there's different scales. Like you say in the Arabic scale, there's an Arabic scale, there's a Chinese scale.
Yeah.
All these scales that you could use them, and I never knew that.
But our textbooks and our colleges would tell us that we're not like that's the wrong way of playing.
Yeah, exactly though. But it's like that's what like a lot of like Arabic scales are being used now, especially in drill. Like the flutes that you hear sometimes, they're very ethnic.
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
a lot of people use them. So I don't know why we didn't get taught that, but in school. Because music is music. But
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like, again, you're 25, right?
Yeah, 25.
I'm 24, so similar age. When we were at school, like, it was, again, look, we were getting there, but it still wasn't quite there. Hopefully
there.
Nowadays it's a little bit more broad and eclectic, you know, in the way they teach things. Things like that, at least.
I hope it is. Like, my little brother, he was doing music in school. I think he was doing lessons for drumming as well. So that was okay, but it's just I think they just need more broader.
Talk to me a little bit about like your little brother. He does music as well.
Smashing it.
How much have you helped him with that type of thing? And what's your relationship like with him? Talk to me about getting in the studio with him. Anything like that.
I just kind of manage him, but the way I'm managing him is not like your usual manager. Just kind of I let him do his own thing, and then I'm just like kind of give him advice as to do this or that, or if I was in you, I'll do this, or if you was to do this.
You don't like
just
to be
make it
too hands-on with his stuff. You want his thing to be his thing.
I'm all about like letting you find yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
You find yourself, I'll just tell you which way is best to go. Like, you find yourself, I'll just tell you, yes, no, this is a bad idea, but if you want to go through it, you can do it. Like, because I went through all those problems, so it's like, I get it. I wouldn't send him to go through certain problems, but sometimes for him to learn, it's better for him to just be a bit more free and do what he wants to do. And then also the other thing is that the younger generation, they're crazy, like, creative.
Yeah,
like,
true,
crazy
absolutely.
Creative. You can learn a lot from them, like him. I learn because I still
it's more
learn
unfiltered at that age. I think
that's what I mean. Like,
as you get more into your 20s and 30s, you start thinking, "Oh, should I say this?
You
is this right?" You start doubting yourself. But when you're younger, you're just like, "Fuck it, I'm going to do it." Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
it's
even
organic.
the shit
It's
that they talk
original.
about is original. That's exactly, man. So it's like, it's sick at the end of the day.
Does having him around help you tap into that rawness that you had when you were 17, 18, 19, first coming out?
Because I originally started through rapping. He's more of a rapper, like he raps, but he can sing as well, don't get me wrong, but he's like just raw. So, but it reminds me when I was on my grime days, do you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, because now I do a lot more of like singing stuff.
Yeah.
He gives me that rawness back, and it's just like, oh, it's nice to hear that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's literally like all his influences and all the grime music he grew up listening was just what I was playing.
Like, and he's mingling that in with stuff that he's listening to now.
Exactly.
He'll be showing you stuff. Have you heard Yeats, for example?
Exactly. Like, he's the one that actually introduced me to Yeat, especially because of the music video.
There you go.
He likes the music video, so it's like they're just creative. Like, even those Yeat, I swear he's like, how old is he?
He's young. He's the new kind of generation of like Lil Pump. On the surface of it, it's you kind of listen to it and it's kind of like, oh, people in the 20s and 30s like relate to this, but then you listen to it, I can actually get down to this. It's actually pretty good when you give it a chance.
Even when you look at his age though, it's like these kids are young, but then look at what they're creating something completely different, man. I don't think people should be too worried about if the orders are gonna like it, or just do what's best for you.
When has hip hop or music in general ever fucking gone anywhere or done anything by thinking, what will the older generation like to listen to? Always going forward.
The problem is though, nowadays it's like the older generations don't really be liking what the youngers are doing because they just don't understand it. That's one thing though. So it's like what the youngers are making. Then sometimes they might hear from the olders, you need to be like Tupac. You need to be like Tupac. You know what I mean? It's like, no. But obviously he doesn't get what he's saying. Yeah. And then it's like he doesn't get what he's trying to do as well.
You've got to. You know I think a useful lesson for these young guys coming out would be, again, it's like going back to that point earlier. You've got to know the rules to know how to break it. You've got to know how Biggie and Tupac and Big L and Eminem and MF Doom and all these guys. You've got to know how all of those guys from the 90s and the early 2000s did it back in the day. Yeah. But it only to the extent that, like, once you know how they did the A, B's and C's, it makes the rest of it
literally
so much easier. You can put your own spin on it. You know how to break the rules.
Yeah, literally. So it is good still, man.
Yeah, man. We'll start wrapping this up, but I wanted to talk about 2 upcoming singles that you will be releasing soon. Carbrini and I don't want to sound ignorant. Am I pronouncing this right? DITD2.
It's a shortened version of the actual song. So
Okay.
what that stands for is Diamond in the Dirt.
Right.
So
Diamond in the Dirt too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
talk to me about these a little bit.
Them ones,
yeah.
Hey guys, you seen the exclusive, so but they're just the demo videos. But you see the Cabrini video?
Yeah.
That was all me in terms of the video.
The direction, the filming, every aspect of
I
it.
filmed it myself. I was in the room up by myself and I did the whole video.
That's crazy.
That's how it be.
Cool.
Like, so with that, that's coming out soon. Yeah.
Again, speaking to that aspect of like you liking to be hands
I'm
on at every aspect of the process.
I'm just mad creative. Like, have you heard of AIs?
Artificial intelligence.
I'm getting into that so much these days. Yo, you should try it out. Like, it's sick. Like, they've got so many little things that you can play about with. But yeah, back to the music.
Yeah, the 2 upcoming singles. Are they for like? You mentioned you were thinking of putting those on like an EP. If so, what's the concept of?
So
the
yeah,
project,
I've got an EP coming out. I've got loads of EPs. That's the thing. Like, I think I've got at least 3 EPs that I finished. It's just me.
Damn. Okay.
It's just
wow,
me.
that's mad. Yeah.
It's just me. Like, I'm just. I didn't want to rush.
What are we talking like? 4-track EPs, 5-track, or like 8-track EPs?
I think in each, there's one that's got. I think we've made 32 tracks in total. But
that's not an EP. That's a mixtape.
No. I think no. But with that, we're gonna break it down. So it's literally just going back and trying to strip the tracks and pick out the best tracks.
Yeah.
So, but then it's like the other tracks that we've got. That's kind of volume 2 or the B side. I don't know how we're gonna do it yet. But, do you know what I'm trying to say? So I've got a tape with my guy coming out soon.
Sick.
I haven't got the name for it yet, but we've got so many tracks in there. Then I've got my solo project. I've got 2 that are literally ready. So I've got one. I call it Low on Sleep and High of Dreams, volume number 1. So that's what it's going to be called.
Check that, people.
Low on Sleep, High of Dreams.
Where can people? Yeah, just very quickly. Where can people find that? I assume you have Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. Tell them where they can find it.
Yeah. So you'll be able to find that Spotify, Apple Music, Vivo as well. I normally release on Vivo. So you can find it on there. Just search Young Artz. All my accounts is Young Artz. You can also search up youngartz.com or primerarecords.com and find whatever's coming up soon. The website is literally on the update right now, but as soon as we're back online, you'll be able to get it from there as well. So get exclusives from there as well, guys. We've got exclusives.
You heard it here first.
Exclusives. So if you want exclusives.
I mean, you may have heard it here last.
They might
have heard of you a long time ago.
It gets like that, bro. So
hopefully there's some new people coming today who would be interested in your story and would love to check out your stuff. I'm very excited to hear all of these upcoming projects that are coming out. You might have like 2023's coming up. You could have a run out of like 3 or 4. You could do like a seasons thing.
That's the thing. Like, I think the way I'm doing it, I'm probably not gonna do much for the remaining time of this year. I'm kind of just prepping myself for next year.
Oh yeah. You got to get the foundations ready.
Yeah, it's literally like, because there's a lot of going in the background, so it's like you just have to make it flow to get the right results. So yeah, man. That's the right
attitude. I think when you put the time into like getting the basics right, when you do release that music, you've got to be happy with it in and of yourself, and then if you're happy with it, they'll love it. They will love it. Trust me.
Exactly, man.
Because you're going over it with a critical eye. They won't be. But yeah, I guess leads me nicely on to my last question. I guess, what is the next step for you in your career, and where do you want to take this? Because obviously there's your music, your solo music, and then there's the label, the business. I assume that's something that you want to make grow much bigger than beyond just yourself.
So now,
I assume there's different. Sorry, I'll let you answer in a second. I just want to ask my question properly because I will forget. Like, I assume you've got like different goals for both of those 2 separate entities. I'm sure they're intertwined to an extent.
They are.
But talk me through the goals for the music and the goals for the business.
Well, basically, it's more, the way I'd put it would be what are the goals of the business, basically. And with that, it's like, there's myself, there's Kate Online, Sliderverse, Ohms, there's 3-2, Young E-Man, or Suave. So there's a number of us that are just releasing. But my whole, basically, the way we're doing it right now, each artist has got a project that's pretty much in the works. So I want at least next year to have at least released, each person have released like a project each, videos, and then like the label. I don't even want the label to do too much. The way I'm using the label is just a thing to kind of just have our music safe, sort of thing.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's like the way, I wouldn't really call it a record label where it's like I'm scouting for people, trying to put them on. I'm not trying to get into that because
you've got like your people who you trust, who you know are gonna work on the label.
Because basically, remember when Instagram started putting lyrics out?
Yeah,
I was one of the first ones to have an artist page and my lyrics on every song all time, man. And everyone was like, "How the heck you doing it?" And I was just
ahead of the curve.
I'm just there. I'm learning. So it's like with that, it really just put me in a place to like, yo, this is what we need to do. And then obviously with learning from that, people could see the vision and how we was moving, and just the way we was doing things was very professional. Like was just getting a lot of attention, sort of thing. And that's how I even got the show with Russ and J1. So it's just like one of them ones. So my goal for next year would be, I'd say, just everybody get music back out, because we've all kind of just taken time to focus on getting the music right and the videos prepared and just getting all the content. So it's just
once each of you gets like a bit of like attention around each of your individual projects, you can bring that together for like a collaboration.
Exactly.
And all of those eyes will be on that one project.
Like it'd just be crazy, man. Like that's what I want to do. So yeah, and then as well as all the other things that we're doing, like the open mics and all that. So yeah,
mate, it's a whole it's a whole network. It's crazy. I don't think we're done talking here by any means. But we have much more to discuss. But no, for now it's getting a little late, so we need to do the live session. There will be a live session from Young Artz on the channel. We're going to go and do that now. But we'll wrap up this interview, my man. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me down. I enjoyed it so much, man.
Anytime, man.
Sick, man. I love the building, by the way. Literally.
I mean, it took us a lot of time to get here, so I mean that means a lot, man.
So yeah, I can't wait for this to come out as well.
Yeah, me too.
Can't wait. Hopefully by the time this comes out, I've got some new music out for you guys.
Perfect timing. Know. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to the Bunker podcast yet again. If you haven't already, drop a like and a subscribe. I know it seems kind of derivative, but it does help us out a lot.
It goes a long way.
It does go a long way. You'll know this more than anybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure we'll be back soon with more interviews, more live sessions coming soon. But for now, take it easy. Peace.
Bow.
Thank you very much. Bow.